And finally, to our special segment, Resurgent Africa. Amid the coups and the crises, there are many positive stories from Africa that often get overlooked, but not on this show. Our story today is from Kenya's Wasini Coastline, where a community-driven approach is reviving the destroyed seagrass meadows. Seagrass are vital for supporting marine life, and without the seagrass, the fish population in the Wasini had declined. But after a group of gardeners stepped in as a part of Kenyan coastline, is beginning to show signs of prosperity. Our next story gets you all the details.
In the vast expanse of sea, what's common between a fish, coral reef and an octopus? Seagrass, the home of aquatic wilderness. Seagrass nurses the lives of innumerable fish species. They are the Earth's only flowering plant capable of living underwater. Seagrass forms a vital habitat for marine life. Without seagrass, the fish stocks deplete, putting the sea at a risk of becoming a lifeless expanse of brackish liquid. That's what the seawater of this coast was becoming. Kenya's Wasini Coastline had its life fished out. Decades of overfishing took a toll on the seagrass beneath the fishing boats. The population of fishes declined, and with that, the livelihoods of local fishermen hit a dead end. But now the coastal community is restoring the precious seagrass. With a community-driven approach, Kenyans off the coast of Wasini Island are taking their sea back to its aquatic wilderness, one seagrass plantlet at a time. Members of the Wasini Beach Management Unit, or the BMU, are working overtime to nurture new life underwater. They plant seagrass through a well-coordinated effort. The BMU members form large underwater carpets made of natural fiber. Then they carefully puncture pockets into the carpet to place seagrass seedlings. The natural fibers decompose over time and seagrass begins its magic. The newly blossomed seagrass beds shelter fish. Marine stocks increase over time, making the aquatic environment healthy and biologically rich.
Before we learn about seagrass restoration, I would only harvest about 2 kilograms of fish, which was not enough to feed my 6 children. But after we learn about seagrass restoration, the harvest is plentiful. For example, yesterday, I harvested 60 kilograms. It is a great benefit. The 2 kilograms I used to harvest could only feed my family. But now people travel all the way from Mombasa to Wasini to buy fish, because they have heard in Wasini there is surplus fish.
The seagrass are critical to combat climate change as well. They cover less than 0.2% of the world's oceans, but they store twice as much carbon as forests on land.
Seagrass are beneficial to the ecosystems in the sense that they are habitats that provide food for fish and other fauna that are associated with seagrass ecosystems. They also provide nursery habitats for small fish where they are able to thrive, as well as providing breeding areas for fish and other fauna.
But the revived seagrass beds remain threatened by human activity. A nearby port project involves dredging, the process of removing sediment from the bottom of the sea. The recently restored seagrass faces the risk of being dredged away.
We have invested over 200 million through restoration. I believe the fish port will cause sedimentation at the restoration seagrass meadow because of dredging. The movements of ships will also cause sedimentation. Research using heavy machinery will also affect our restoration efforts. There is also the problem of sound pollution underwater.
The restoration of seagrass has transformed the coastline of Wasini in Kenya. About 2.5 acres of seagrass meadows have been revived, with 10,000 seedlings planted. For the Kenyans in Wasini, the stakes are high. Preserving the seagrass means sustaining the fish stocks. Their efforts have brought benefits to both the environment and the local economy. But the question is, will the seagrass revival survive the stress of modern-day development?